In a forgotten village, there lived a boy raised among hardship and quiet endurance. His father was a weary farmer whose hands bore the scars of unkind soil. His mother carried new life in her womb, her strength thinning by the day. His younger sister, frail and sickly, was often bent under illness that drained what little hope the family could afford. They were mocked by the village, called dirty, cursed, and lowly because poverty clung to them like dust. Their farm yielded little, and whatever coins came from the harvest vanished into medicines that barely kept the girl alive. Yet the boy never complained. He learned early that fate could be cruel, and so he worked harder, fetching water, tending crops, and standing silently beside his parents when shame came knocking. One season, calamity struck again. His mother fell gravely ill, her life hanging by a thread. The village doctors tried, but their crude methods left her broken in body and spirit. The baby survived, but the trauma lingered like a shadow over their home. Beyond their suffering, the kingdom rotted from above. The king and his elite cared for nothing but swollen coffers, squeezing the people dry with ruthless taxes. Leadership was neglected, compassion forgotten. Hunger bred anger, and anger bred crime. The village decayed under the weight of neglect. Then came the day that changed everything. A heated argument erupted between the boy's father and a longtime debtor who had avoided repayment for years. The debtor, protected by a corrupt official, struck back viciously, fabricating documents that accused the farmer of tax evasion. An impossible choice was given: forfeit the money owed to him or face imprisonment. Worse still, a royal decree demanded he publicly apologize for assault during the village carnival. On the day of the carnival, before mocking crowds, the farmer was forced to declare that no one had ever owed him anything. Then, stripped of dignity, he was flogged 32 strokes. He endured it all in silence, holding fast to thoughts of his wife and children. That night, broken but resolute, he sent his son away. The boy was entrusted to a sailor, an old man of the sea, who looked upon the thin, hungry, dirt-stained child with pity. The ocean will throw this one back, he thought, yet he took him along. Instead of casting him adrift, the sailor brought him to a flourishing empire across the waters, clean streets, disciplined systems, and people treated with dignity. There, the boy received an education. For 10 years, he learned not only from books, but from observation. He studied governance, healthcare, economy, and the quiet power of fairness. He saw how leadership could uplift instead of crush. His brilliance earned him favor among mentors and nobles alike. He blended in, rose in respect, and for a time nearly forgot where he came from. One evening, a shaman spoke to him. "Your people are waiting." He dismissed it. There was nothing for him back home, he believed. He planned instead to bring his family to the empire and leave the past arid. But when he spoke to the sailor, the old man listened calmly and said only this: "Roots do not bind you, they give you something to stand on." At 27, the boy returned. He came back tall, clean like fresh water, and strong with purpose. The villagers, now bent and wrinkled by years of suffering, recognized him instantly. His presence shone brighter than even the officials who ruled them. He built a modern home for his parents. He established a factory that absorbed idle youths and former criminals alike, giving them work and dignity. The village began to breathe again. Word spread quickly, and it enraged the king and his elites. They summoned him, offering power in exchange for submission. He refused. In retaliation, they accused him of treason and had him arrested. But the empire across the sea had not forgotten him. When news of his imprisonment reached them, powerful forces were sent. The oppressors were captured, their corruption exposed, and they were locked away. The people rejoiced, and by their own will, installed him as their elected governor. Under his leadership, the village transformed. Hospitals and schools rose where ruins once stood. Farmers received incentives, taxes were revised, wages were made fair. Prosperity returned, not as charity, but as justice. And in homes that had endured too much for too long, happiness